So just so you know, this is already live.
Okay.
Because I had 9 people waiting.
I'm gonna do the same one.
Yeah, that's always fun too. Yeah, I do that a lot as well.
Yeah. Gabe, I'm writing Q&A because you go into healing response whenever there's a dilemma. You channel in their healing message.
I've never heard it articulated that way before. That's nice.
Well, I don't
Thanks
know
for
how
saying
to put it as 3 letters.
No, that's great. Yeah, that is wonderful.
Do you have a little box or something?
A little box?
I'm trying to see where I can. I don't have a tripod, so
I have a tripod.
Yeah,
Do you?
Krista
Okay,
has
cool.
a tripod that she can
Okay, cool.
Oh yeah, I think I might stream that on my phone.
You guys need a tripod?
The boxcar is your
Yeah,
car,
just-
right? You parked
yeah.
there? Okay, cool. Just make sure everybody's
The
in.
gastro. I'm gonna solve that thing soon.
I want to talk about
Get a new one?
I'm going to talk about
I want a little car for now because I live in Cottonwood, so it's kind of hard going back and forth to work every day and that.
Yeah.
And I love it, but it's at the point where I need to put more work in it, and I don't think it's worth it for me to put more work in it. I kind of want to get a small car and then.
Well, if
like,
it's over
get a good
$2,000, then it's gonna be. You have to think about a new car.
Excuse me, he will tell you all about it because he had a van that broke down on Conwood and we worked that 92 Mazda. Oh my god.
Yeah.
We had emotional
Mine's
attachments
a
to it.
2001, but it has a problem in the rear main seal, and then I have a lot of cosmetic damage. But I'm like 2,200 miles, so I just don't feel like it's worth it for me. Even though those things go pretty long.
Yeah, but you're still in the good as long as you don't have any engine stuff and transmission stuff.
Yeah.
Still, you're doing good.
Yeah.
But if you want a smaller car, you know, you can still get a lot of money for this and downgrade.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you up this thing here,
Yeah.
this one here, and then you adjust your
Okay,
phone.
so Moosey, I put positive leadership of Starseeds here because that's been your
Yeah.
little crack this morning. You've been really
Yes, I
upset
will.
about them, so you can teach people how to be a good leader. Okay?
Oh yeah, we're not gonna get it.
Oh my god, you're live!
Yeah, of course. Oh yeah, I had already 10 people. 10
That's
people
so
in the
embarrassing.
deal.
Don't look at that.
So building.
Good day.
Yeah.
I think Q&A would be good too.
Oh, I
'Cause then we
have
can also
stuff
just
like
say
Yeah.
I'll ask
what
you
is the
stuff.
current
You'd be good at
things
doing
that
it.
people want or having issues with or would like guidance on.
Yeah. Yeah, I have stuff for millennials. What I just talked with her about is what a lot of millennials have is that YouTube or what do you have?
I'm not allowed to get that.
What's your
Yeah.
Triple goddess and then fairy, but spelled Faery.
And Krista, can you help her to tilt this thing? She has Instagram, so she has to go horizontal.
Oh, you can't do it sideways.
No, you can do it sideways.
can you?
That's
Yeah,
what I
you
do.
have to do this whole thing. Did you
Krista
find
can
it?
twist it.
Well, I usually
Like
leave
this.
it sideways. People can
And
just
then I
turn their
do like
phone,
that.
you know?
It's really tricky.
Yeah, Instagram should freaking do.
You have to go like that and stuff.
Yeah, Krista has a technique down there. It works.
Yeah, it just
Am I
needs a
using your
little.
balance on or something?
Need it, yeah.
Yeah, it's already good. Let me adjust it a little bit more. Krista had it like when she had it.
Chris, do you have enough water?
Yes, thank you.
This should do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and little angles, little YouTube stuff. I mean, MTV style. So yeah, we'll talk about the problem for millennials. Like, let's say millennials go from 20 to 30. You know, people peeve. Oh, I just missed that. Who moved to Sedona?
Oh, what? That is that on the case or what is that?
Miss Morgan Ray.
This is a little kickstand.
Oh yeah, it's just on the phone.
Oh my god.
Okay, Miss Morgan, we can do that.
I just need to find out.
Meet for a coffee, briefing, and get to know each other, and then you make the group smarter. Also make it.
Lean it against the laptop.
This is the next wave, so we're gonna solidify that stuff, you know. Sebastian Klar.
Where do you want to sit?
I have had a headache since last
So
hour.
on the beanbag?
I can put it back.
I'm just trying to get us over
So-
here.
So, Chrissy has to hook her computer up. Krista, no, Krista, comment.
Oh, this.
Now Chrissy can
this
mean you
Chrissy?
because I call her Chrissy Chris, but they call you Chrissy too, right? Christy. No, so nobody ever called you Chrissy, right?
My ex-boyfriend and I hated it. I was like,
Okay,
stop
so-
calling me that.
My
Like,
aunt's
it's
name
not-
is Kristen, but we call her Chrissy.
So, can we
Starseed
all,
Council.
Maybe
I
this
think
doesn't
I'm
show
can we all
everybody.
get like in here
Yeah,
so I
Krista,
can
this
get this?
is
Yeah,
what it
no,
is.
I'm not in the picture. I have to show you.
You just,
You know the same
you
shape.
just, Krista, this camera cannot match everything. You know
That's why
that.
we're putting it back on the chair.
Can I get your back before?
Yeah, go ahead. So in the preparatory stages, people,
Sorry.
getting it going. Yeah, Krista, call it Starseed Council so we have the name synced.
Yes.
Okay, dear.
And yeah, by request, we're trying to work on T-shirts, so that's like funding and timing. So towards summer, we'll see what we can actually dash out.
I can print T-shirts really cheaply, actually, if we want.
Damn.
Yeah, we have to sit down and talk about it because I want to get into merchandise.
Yeah. I mean,
I want good prints like a rubber print
yeah, I can.
that
I
doesn't
can-
wash out with the first
For
wash.
sure.
Yeah,
We'll talk about that.
yeah,
afterwards,
because some companies, like Cafe Press, they want like $37.
Yeah.
And you sell it, you get $1.50.
Right. Yeah.
That is not even
Yeah.
what we want to stop at anything, you know.
Right.
And
Oh, she can get
I've seen guys that have a press, but you need space for that stuff. They have a T-shirt
Yeah.
press.
There's this one.
Huge thing with these templates, and they load it and they can do it by hand.
That's nice.
But it's
I'm not ready to
humongous.
go
Yeah.
live. I want to wait now. It's coming to the thumbnail. Is it alright with you? We can do the thumbnails.
You know, that thumbnail is kind of a funny thumbnail. How many people-
That's really funny.
yeah, look at this.
No.
It's like she sits there like the lonely
Yeah.
somewhere out there.
Yeah, it's Kristen's
I look at this
face.
picture and I wonder,
Kristen.
are you okay? Are you okay?
This is a very interesting thumbnail.
So yeah, Ash, you pillow here or
I'll be on the.
yeah?
back.
Okay, so wherever
Yeah,
you're
okay.
comfortable. Yeah, and I appreciate you being here because that solidifies what we want to do, you know.
Bring in.
And could yeah. Just know, I have no problem.
Okay.
Yeah, we were laughing at this.
Yeah, I'm Aquarian, like, I'm like-
Yeah, my
I'm
boyfriend,
a
his
trustee-
Venus is in Aquarius.
I'm a trustee
I
and
misheard
like
that so bad.
people sitting close, like I have no problem with that. If you have no problem, like I'm
No,
not
I'm
very
cool.
kindergarten friendly,
Why?
like hey everybody together, you know.
Kristen, where are you gonna sit?
I am.
You can sit there. So I'll sit there. So we'll see if I can get.
So yeah, here's the best deal in the future. Want to see if we can have a system like this, and I can live stream with a camera.
You can. You have to get that cable.
They get the cable.
Yeah.
Now the thing is, you recording, that makes it pristine.
Yeah.
Live, can jitter, you know.
Yeah. That's why I just have this and then upload it on the YouTube channel afterwards.
Yeah.
Hey brother. Hey brother.
So we're doing it. Anybody copies Starseed Council, you know they came after us because we coined the term. Know what I mean?
Hey
We're
brother.
gonna wear t-shirts.
Yeah. So it's the idea basically for people at a wide age range to come together.
Yeah.
Super good vibes.
Whatever that means.
Yeah, and you can check the camera how you want to bring yourself in that you not so.
I think this
You
is
in?
good. I think everyone is in now
Okay.
for that angle.
Okay, good. Let me make this angle here so I want everybody in this deal.
Okay, yeah.
Uncle and sweet tea. Okay. Yes. Awesome. Hey guys.
9 minutes in, we got like
Oh, cool.
53
Oh,
people.
This is good. This is a good setup.
Greetings from London.
Greatest sons of New
London crew in it
Isn't it?
Greetings.
for real. So I don't know.
Where else? Where's you guys? Where are you guys reaching? LA, dude.
LA dude. Starseed surfer dudes.
We have LA here representing.
Yo man, serious DMT issues.
I got some New
dudes.
Jersey peeps.
Oh, NJ, Brick City.
Brick City.
Greetings from Germany. Grüße nach Deutschland.
Wow.
Maryland.
I have shops at the same time.
Maryland.
Which Macy's did you work at? Which
Massachusetts.
I did Woodbridge.
London in the
That's
house.
a better mall than Livingston.
Yeah, but it's
Louisiana.
shop there?
We got Ireland.
Do you remember how?
Texas, Missouri, DMV. What's
Remember
DMV?
Steve Madden?
Pennsylvania.
Mhm.
Hey, we got
They
Sweden.
had good stuff.
Nah.
Hey, we're worldwide right now. What time is it in Sweden right now?
Sverige. Tack så mycket.
Tack så mycket.
Lycka till.
What?
Lycka till ska det vara.
Lycka till.
Ja.
Viel Glück.
Moi moi Suomi. Hyvä Suomi. Good. Where are you guys from? Canada. What's a boot do?
What is this about?
A boot.
British
Yeah, yeah.
Columbia.
But the Scottish people do that too. They don't. They say
Yeah, it's similar.
in this one. What is it? Anyway, this is a house kid. House cat. He's never been out. All right, you know. I love accents.
Yeah, me too.
So, should we introduce ourselves or?
Sure.
I mean, you guys know Gabe already because he's done the Starseed Council before. Gabe is a who? Who are you, Gabe?
I don't know. I've been trying to figure that out. I am me, and
Yeah.
That's how he introduced.
Yeah, Gabe is the one that kind of gave us the fire to do the council to really like we utter it, and he's like, yeah, he got even more excitement in the engine to set it up and do it. Then we have Krista, you know Krista, Transmedium channel. Then we have Christy, also channeling Starseed, mediumistic. Ash, you have to explain yourself. I don't know you that much.
So I got this whole witchy, priestess, fairy, Lyran vibe going on. I make
Okay.
crafts, artist.
Okay. I sent some Syrian with you also.
Yep, Sirius B.
Sirius B. All
Probably
right.
the main one that likes to be here.
Okay, cool. So that's the mermaid aspect.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
So we all have
My hair
aspects.
stuff. Mhm.
So higher selves, integrating that here, and today,
Arcturian, Christie's like Arcturian, Palladian.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Totally.
But I also have to say
Zeta,
that like
Zeta.
me, I think there's Zeta and there's
Sasani.
Sasani. You know?
Oh, yeah.
That's very
Yeah.
clear. Like we have that. That's when we're logical. We're trying
Yeah.
to get into feel,
Mhm.
not just the programming. Yeah, trust me.
Gabriel is a
Lifetime work. So you are.
hyperdimensional from another universe.
So you have an idea.
I'm all of that.
So
All
do
of
you have an idea of an orientational aspect of what you are?
I mean, the ones that I sense the most predominantly are my connection to the hybrid races
Okay.
and Pleiadian.
Okay, good.
What are hybrid races?
Asasani Ayel, Shaiel, the Shalanayel, all these
Mhm.
beings. These are the ones that I work with primarily in the sense that these are the ones that I have the most conscious contact with. And then there's many more, but we'll say that those are the predominant ones for now. Yeah.
Okay, so
Mhm.
yeah, I think so.
Ambassador diplomat.
What I
first
want.
contact facilitator.
That you're bringing here. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean it's that. I mean, even to say that I'm bringing here, it's like that's what my conscious mind can identify as. Like that's what I can pinpoint in terms of words and in terms of my experiences with different extraterrestrials. But I mean, it goes so much beyond that as well. But yeah, those are if we're gonna put it into names and categorize it,
Yeah, we
then that
are.
is what we're gonna do.
I think it's important to. I think we all have
Yeah,
We all
it is.
have
There's definitely
a
an
group,
aspect.
but
of it.
there's certain ones that we're supposed to show. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
That we lead from, you know?
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree.
Like I said, like I have an Arcturian aspect, but that's the most silent one right now. I don't
Yeah,
really
yeah, yeah.
function from that one, but I function from my mermaid, my Lyran one, I would say the most. But then I'm Pleiadian, Lyran, Arcturian, Sirius B. I was told fairy on planet Sanatai. I don't know if Ashton talked about that to you. That's what she told me. I feel like that's where we're cosmically go or
Wait,
something.
who's we?
Me and you, because you have that galactic fairy. So she
Yeah.
was saying on
Planet
the
Sinai?
yeah Sanatai, Sanatai, and then she said I also go to Saturn on the 7th dimension. So that's what she was saying too.
So, I'm
This
so
galactic fae.
like just by the way, with the nails, like just by the way.
You love how I always flip my hair,
Like, yeah,
Well, that's good.
flipping my hair.
I
That's
didn't
the
know that about
mermaid.
that planet
Yeah.
because she knows a lot. She has a lot to download. I totally lost track of what I was gonna say. I'm really sorry.
Galactic fae.
Oh.
The fairy.
No, people orbit around. So the Saturn, I found that the Saturn is the limits to where your soul can orbit. So when you're not grounded, like a lot of us
So the
are
basic
not
soul,
grounded.
the basic soul gate is Saturn.
When-
Like if you go Saturn, even
Magic
astrally,
realm.
it's pretty freaking far out.
Because it's like the dragons and fairies. That's when you get to like that aspect.
Yeah, that's in
It's
this
Saturn.
realm.
Uh-huh.
I'm not talking other dimensions right
You're
now.
talking about another ring or
Yeah.
in Saturn?
Oh, I just on
Oh.
Saturn, I guess, on another planet on the.
So my take is also
Uh-huh.
that you get the thing is also the further out you go, the higher the capacity of the downloads that you receive. So understand a book that I recommend to everybody, Keys of Enoch. So here's what happened to J.J. Hurtak according to his wife, and I know the Hurtaks.
I met him.
Yeah, they're pretty cool, pretty down to earth. They're doing the job.
Yeah.
They're not in the sensation shit. They're doing what they do. So now imagine a book like The Keys of Enoch, channeled in 1976. That guy did the tour in the pyramids, physically. Light appears and Mr. Hurtak disappears. They can't find him in the catacombs and in the hallways. For 2 days, this guy is off planet physically. He's gone. So he explains that he was put into a Metatronic, now hear this, sarcophagus, shielded his consciousness and filtered in a way that in the rings of Saturn he could receive the downloads for the Keys of Enoch. When you read the Keys of Enoch, it's freaking mind-blowing. And then he received this entire book in these 2 days, and then he came back.
Did he reappear in the
He
pyramid?
reappeared somewhere around there.
Well,
And wife, Desiree, she said like my husband was gone. The dude was gone.
well.
So there's stuff that's happening where I'm like, past the stories you hear from narrators on stage that are in sensation with I heard of a story that I heard of a story. Like one I have to mention, not to name names, but my problem is like, but I hear a lot of story about Antarctica, but as long as you don't can show me a JPEG of these giants or these hieroglyphs or stuff that you have, or you're not like a first-hand witness or officer high ranking, I'm not hearing you because it's second-hand, third-hand, and I wasn't there. I don't know the guy. I have no experience. So J.J. Hurtak put that into physical form.
Yeah.
Always make sure for our starseeds, we have to anchor that in the physical. Otherwise, it's all potential and it's useless in potential.
Did you guys read The Ancient Secret of the Flower of Life with John Below?
Yeah.
He talks about how he was in the pyramids and it would shift into fourth dimension and your fears would come out. There was like this tunnel you would go down
Yeah.
that you had to climb through.
Yeah.
And if you had fears, it would come out. And this one guy, I guess, was hallucinating like snakes and all this stuff, but John Below wasn't. And he was saying how when you go into the pyramids, the dimensions will shift too in like certain places.
Oh yeah. I walked into the Saqqara
And not
pyramid
let you go through certain areas.
because the Gizeh was closed. And my mom walked behind me, and half the way down the tunnel, you have to imagine the tunnel is kind of like this height. You have to bend and then go like 100 or 200 feet into this thing. You'd be kicked with yourself. And I felt a shift, but I was like, okay, and I shook it off, and I kept walking, and I kept craving. My mom was like, I'm done here. Claustrophobic, everything kicked in. Panic. My mom was like, I can't breathe. I see you outside. Ran, and a lot of tourists came almost running over me because it's very small. Running out the pyramids, you can't hold it. So here's the thing: if you don't have your light correct and your shadow integrated, you can't handle sitting it in the light. Period. That's like
Yeah,
evident.
it'll make you feel like you want to like explode or something.
Yeah.
It's
So
too
I
much.
went down into the Saqqara, the step pyramid, which is right next to the Gizeh pyramid, and I went into that chamber, and I felt elsewhere in that thing. Completely like, yeah, I just walked in, but I can walk out and be like Star Trek or Stargate, like walking out into another planet. It wouldn't have surprised me. I felt red energy emanating from the walls, and you were not supposed to film down there. So I had my little Sony Handycam that looked like a camera. So I told the guards I'm taking pictures while I'm filming, as I'm aiming.
Wow.
So I would film myself for a couple of seconds in that thing. Camera would glitch and would get weird, and I was really craving to sit in that thing. You know, like Neo in the Matrix, you get like all of a sudden you're in and you get instant knowledge, and it's like almost like a little like an orgasm because you have an understanding. It's coming in. So I was in there for like 20 minutes where everybody scrammed.
Wait,
Like
what was
the average people can't hold it.
Okay, are you talking about your higher self was coming in? Is that what you're saying?
Well, basically, is the more you hold it in the light, the more your higher self can integrate in the vessel. And this is the new ascension process. That we don't have to
Can
die.
we talk about that?
Yeah, we don't have to die in the vessel. We can now die psychologically. And come into our own cosmic self. On that note, to see what downloads are, I have a question to Christy. Give me something that you remember, like let's say like a technical download that you know you didn't know before. Something like sometimes you tell me these psychological things where I'm like, why does this girl know this stuff? You're not Carl Jung. Why you uttering it? Not to butter you up, but you really have some intelligence that is very, very impressive. So yeah, you have something that you can share that came in where you're like, all of a sudden, this came clear to you.
Oh man. In terms of like ET experiences or just like psychology knowledge?
Psychology knowledge. Something where you're like,
well, okay, so basically like yesterday I was kind of like receiving this download where, and it's pretty simple, it's pretty basic, but if you kind of imagine it, like maybe close your eyes and imagine this, kind of imagine that you're this center point and like around you on all 360 degrees is like a different direction for you to go, but oftentimes we get so caught up in like this or that we don't use our imagination to enable us to see everything. So oftentimes we just get so caught up in like a couple of possible timelines, even if they're not preferred, when you could instead say, well, you know what, how do I want to feel? Because for example, like I was going through this transition period where I was like, okay, am I going to be sad because this is over? Am I going to be happy because this new thing's happening? Am I going to observe both and then learn from both, gain those gems and knowledge, and then direct myself towards what I want? You know, it's really up to us. And when we take that step back into neutrality, we can see that we stand between the two opposing forces, and we can choose how we want to experience it. Yeah.
Cool.
Wait,
So
could you give us an example? Because this was really, really intelligent.
Yeah, sure.
yeah, this is super
Like
cool.
seeing
I'll
the
give you
different
an-
timelines from a bigger perspective rather than just being stuck in that human black or white, or
Yeah.
you know, you have to see the gray sometimes to see
What do you
all
mean?
of the
What is the timeline?
With a bigger picture.
potential paths you can go down towards your path.
Yeah, definitely.
How do you guys see timelines? Like you see
Yeah.
like Merlin saw through the forest as
Envisioning.
a thing. Do you guys see it pre-paved, or
Yeah,
do you
you can
guys
see it.
have dreams about it or visions?
Oh, that's an interesting.
Both.
That's a very
Both
interesting
kind of
thing. I
both.
want to see what Gabe has to say. Let me share this real quick. This is how I scry. Scrying is like, you know, looking into the bowl to see. How I check timelines is this. When I worked on building the.
Close your computer.
Yeah, I don't even know. That sometimes happens. Yeah. When I worked on building my Ascension pod, which I'm working on now, I tapped into what would that feel like if I can build it and sell it for the price point that I have in my head. And I get this excitement and it draws me into this direction. Or you can look at, oh, I have some beef with this person. What would that feel like if I next week try to confront that person, go there, and you get very, very sick? You get the tendency of the timeline where you're going by feeling. And that's your inner compass, is you have to feel good with where you're going.
Yeah.
That defines a divine timeline.
That's it.
So,
And that's how you manifest too. I feel like you can't just be like, I want this, or this is how it's going to be. You actually have to put that energy in your body and feel how you in that moment having it. You already integrating that. You already there. You know?
So the polarity that Christy was saying, is that a polarity you're experiencing in the moment that's causing you kind of like a mild stress or anxiety or like unwanted feeling or unclarity? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I think it really comes down to, in every situation, you can choose to have a positive mindset about it and gain knowledge from it, or you can choose to be a victim. You know what I mean? Like,
To your
it really,
thoughts.
yeah, it really just depends. How do I want to experience the situation? Like, for example, something really big that I worked through a little while ago is that I used to have like coworkers and like a boss that would really harass me, and they were so mean to me, and it got to a point where it completely broke me down, and I had to question myself on a deeper level than I had ever questioned myself before.